Let's be real. For any trader, the biggest battle isn't really against the market. It's the battle for discipline. And what if I told you the key to winning that fight might just be hiding in a classic 80s movie about karate? Let's dive in.
For a lot of disciplined traders, it all starts with a ritual, a sort of pre-market mantra. And that first line is so important. I reset my mind. This isn't just some nice phrase, it's a command. It's about wiping the slate clean, getting rid of the fear from yesterday's loss or the greed from yesterday's win. You start fresh.
And then comes what is probably the hardest rule in all of trading: committing to the process, not the outcome. Think about that. It means your entire focus is on executing your plan perfectly, following your rules to the letter. It doesn't matter if the trade ends up being a winner or a loser. And this one idea, right here, is the foundation for everything we're about to talk about.
And finally, that commitment turns into an action. I trade the plan, exactly as taught. No winging it, no second guessing, no trying to predict the future. It's a pact, a promise you make to yourself. And this pact has an almost perfect parallel in this story of a young kid and his very unconventional mentor.
So this brings us to a story I'm sure most of you know. We've got a teenager, Daniel, who wants to learn karate from this quiet maintenance man, Mr. Miyagi. But before a single punch is ever thrown, something way more important has to be established: a foundation of absolute trust and commitment. Mr. Miyagi just lays it out so perfectly, doesn't he? There is no middle ground. You can't sort of follow your trading plan. You can't just guess when to get in or out, because half-hearted commitment in the market, well, just like in karate, you're going to get squished, just like a grape.
So they make this deal, what Miyagi calls a sacred pact. He promises to teach, and Daniel promises to learn. And Daniel's only job? I say you do, no question. This is exactly the pact a trader has to make with their own strategy. You've got to trust the process you built, and then in the heat of the moment, you execute it, no hesitation.
Okay, so the pact is made. Daniel's all fired up, ready to learn some cool moves, right? But that's not what happens. His training doesn't start in a dojo with a white uniform. It starts with chores. A lot of chores. He gets put to work waxing a whole fleet of classic cars, painting what seems like a mile of fence, and sanding this huge wooden deck. The movements are so simple, circular, repetitive, and they feel like they have absolutely nothing to do with fighting.
And man, this is such a brilliant illustration of a disciplined trader's life. A trader's chores aren't glamorous at all. You follow the plan, you document every single trade honestly and completely. You review the data day after day. It can feel so tedious. It can feel like you're not actually making any progress. And that leads, almost always, to a crisis of faith.
So after days of all this manual labor, his muscles are aching, he hasn't learned a single real karate move, and he reaches his breaking point. He feels completely used, like he's just free labor, and he is ready to quit.
His outbursts, who hasn't felt this? Every trader has been there. You're following your process, you're sticking to the plan, maybe you take a few small, disciplined losses in a row, and you feel like you're just spinning your wheels. You think, I've been busting my butt and my account hasn't gone anywhere. I haven't learned a thing.
And right here, this is the crucial moment of doubt that every single disciplined person faces, no matter what they're doing. Is this meticulous process I'm following actually broken? Or is its real purpose still hidden from me, building something inside me that I just can't see yet?
But right when Daniel's about to walk away for good, Mr. Miyagi stops him. He doesn't give him a big speech, he doesn't explain, he just commands. And in this one moment, the whole purpose of the grind is about to be revealed.
Miyagi throws a punch, and he just says, "Show me wax on, wax off." And without even thinking, Daniel's arm comes up in that perfect circular motion, and bam, it effortlessly blocks the punch. He is absolutely stunned.
Miyagi attacks again. "Show me paint the fence." And it happens again. Daniel's arm moves up and down this time, perfectly blocking another strike. Sand the floor. Paint the house. It turns out every single one of those boring chores was actually a defensive block, just disguised as manual labor.
So what was Miyagi really building? It's called muscle memory. Through that endless, boring repetition, he was bypassing Daniel's conscious, emotional brain, the part that gets scared and hesitates, and was training his body to just react, automatically. The chores were never about the cars or the fences. They were about building perfect, instinctual reflexes that work under pressure.
And that's the whole point right there. For a trader, that muscle memory is discipline. The repetitive process of following the plan, documenting the trades, all that stuff that feels like busy work, it's not. It's how you train your mind to bypass your own fear and greed and execute instinctively when the market gets crazy. Once you get that, it changes everything. You realize the ultimate goal isn't just winning a single trade, it's flawlessly executing your process every single time.
So now we can go back to that mantra from the beginning, and it just hits different, doesn't it? Loss is feedback? Yep, it's just a blocked punch, a piece of data. Profit is temporary? It's a successful move, sure, but the next challenge is right around the corner. But process is permanent? That is your muscle memory. That is your defense. That's your key to survival.
And this really shows the shift from an amateur to a professional mindset. The ego-driven amateur is trying to predict outcomes, chase profits, and is terrified of losses. But the process-driven professional, they just respond to signals. They follow the plan. They accept that risk is just part of the game, the same way Miyagi accepted that Daniel was going to get hit sometimes.
This line right here is maybe the most powerful idea in the entire mantra. You can't control what the market does. It's going to do what it's going to do. The only thing you can actually control, the only thing you should ever judge yourself on, is your execution. Did you follow the plan? That's the only question that truly matters.
And so it all comes back to this simple, almost meditative loop, the daily grind, the calm, focused, repetitive action. It's about choosing consistency over your ego, choosing survival over short-term excitement. It's not glamorous, it's just wax on, wax off.
So I'll just leave you with this. The next time you're reviewing a trade or you're fighting that urge to just break your rules this one time, ask yourself, are you just washing cars feeling like you're getting nowhere? Or are you building the discipline to trade for life?